Coach, please help me. My fingers are going numb, even on short rides. It's a common question I get. And actually, Dip Buyer 83, your question has motivated me to do this quick, simple video. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to use some basic equipment. I've got 3 things. 1, a tape measure. Check. 2, a broom handle. 3, a shopping bag. I found this in the cupboard. It has an old kettle in it. That's a long story. Maybe that's another video, Coach. Why do you have a kettle in your shopping bag? Anyway, let's get into the video. You'll like this. Okay, the first key measurement we want to do with our arms and shoulders is the width of the shoulders. Okay, and that key point, I've mentioned this before in other videos, is the little knobbly bony part that forms the edge of the shoulder girdle. Chromium process. Okay, and what we want to do is to take 2 measurements. Sorry for getting these hulking great muscles out. You too can look like Coach Scott. Follow his 30-day program. Okay, don't worry about that. Right, so we measure the acronym to acronym. Okay, now that's going to give you the shoulder width. Believe it or not, I'm actually 42. Okay, centimeters across. Yes. Now, for a lot of bikes and a lot of people, especially the women, I'm afraid, you get a hard deal because a lot of bikes are coming with wider bars. Remember, our body shape, hips and shoulders creates a type. Mesomorph, muscle. Ectomorph, straight up and down thinny. Thinny, skinny. Okay, and then the endomorph, wider hips, narrower shoulders, the sprinters. Okay, so it doesn't matter what height you are, depending on the body shape you've got. So you can be really tall, but you can have narrow shoulders. But your bike isn't coming with narrow bars, is it? So this is causing a problem. Okay, so imagine now, this is where the broom handle comes in, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so what we try and do without hitting the radiator is we hold our arms straight out, thumb and first finger. And this gives us a width that feels comfortable. And I usually play around with this, give people it to hold, measure. I'll measure first, then have them in the broom handle position. And you can mark that on the broom handle, and you can see how wide it is. But the shopping bag, okay, you take 2 shopping bags and you just hold them, okay? And you hold the shopping bags, and what's going to happen is thumb, first finger, around the shopping bag. Again, this allows you to be in this nice comfortable position, and then down below get somebody to measure between the V of thumb and first finger. Yep, measure that distance. What do you get? You've got 3 different measurements and you're looking to dial in to what is that common number. What are you closest to when it comes to bar sizes? Okay, now most people would say, do I go over or under if I'm close? Because being under can cause wrist changes as well. Yes, but if you're close, always go under, because the easiest way to adapt your wrist is on a shorter, narrower bar than it is on a wider bar. Okay, that's your measurements. There is no 30-day muscle program, by the way, from me, so don't be looking for that. Now, with this measurement, we go back to the bike. Okay, you still with me? Okay, let's get on the bike now. Talk about wrist positions, talk about the bars. Okay, so here's a pair of bars on one of my bikes. One of my bikes, listen to me. Okay, so measure middle to middle with these bars, 42 as my measurements are. This is a compact bar, shallow drop, because I spend most of my time in the drops. You don't do that. It's where it's at. Don't put it down to your flexibility or being too fat. You can do it if your bike fits you, and it's going to be ultimately a better position for your wrist. And let's talk about that why. Okay, so first of all, most people will hold hoods, thumb, first finger, and we will grip around, okay? So this becomes our target, the V shape. And this position here is looking for a chromium process. And it wants to have that in a nice straight line, whether you are carrying your shopping bags, whether you're carrying your partner over the threshold. Now that's a different thing, Coach, shut up. But this idea of having them in a nice, relaxed, straight line, it's looking for that point. So as a bike fitter, I'm looking, scanning for this part and this part. I'm laser dialing it in. So, if your bars are too wide, what happens? This comes out. It comes wider, 44, 46, 48. And in this wide position, it's like a wide press up, much harder to do. Also, as your arms go wider, what happens to your head? Your chin comes up and up and up. So not only have you got numb hands, you're getting sore shoulders, you've got a sore neck. Because just like breaststroke, as we open our arms, our head comes up. You can't help it. So we've got to get the bars right. Now, this position as well tends to create what we call the loser. So have a look at your position. If you've got the loser wrist, the L-shaped wrist, nerves have been stretched. Medial nerve, ulnar nerve, they're being stretched. But you've seen the pros do that. They look so relaxed with these collapsed wrists and they're talking away. Yeah, I had a nice bottle of wine last night. It was helping me recover. I read about oxidative processes. Yeah, okay, sorry. You're not the pro, okay? And what you have to do is understand is obviously you're changing hand positions all the time when you're riding, but you're still getting that compression. Your bars are too wide. Get out of the L shape as much as you can. Now, ulnar nerve tends to become pressured when the hoods are in the wrong position. Hoods nice and flat allows you to have this nice comfortable position to rest your wrists if your bike is of the right length. People will often say, oh, roll your hoods, roll your bars, undo the clamp, roll them up and everything comes closer to you. Your stack height goes up and the bike feels better. You're trying to beat something and create another problem. When the hood rolls upwards, your wrist does what? Push it up. Stretches, you're getting the idea now, aren't you? Okay? Stretches that ulnar nerve. So therefore, there is compression. So even though you may not be pressing down on the nerve, you're stretching it, causing numbness. But a lot of people will ride in that position, pressing down in this chopping position. And if the wrist is coming upwards, it's going to cause compression. Common sense. So you've got to fix L by coming narrower, and you've got to fix rolling back towards you, pressure on ulnar nerve, by making sure hoods are not coming all the way up. So why aren't you riding in the drops? I can't reach them, coach, and when I go in the drops I can't reach my levers. Has your bike been set up correctly? When you're in the drops, what happens to the wrist? Shopping bag. Go back to the shopping bag. It's in this nice position, nice and straight, no pressure. And you don't want to be gripping it like you're throttling your... Oh, sorry, you can't say that. You don't want to be gripping it like you're holding onto your wallet. No, only Scots people do that. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, you don't want to be squeezing it so you see the white of the knuckles. No, not good. Billy Joel. You remember that, don't you? Of course you do. Right, so, in the drops, levers can move. Okay? You can move them. Go and Google it, or have it as your next task to develop your bike maintenance skills. So there you go. That is wrist position, all from bars too wide. It'll fix numb hands, okay? But I've got to leave you with this. You've got to understand a couple of things. Take a look in the mirror. Are you too fat? If you're overweight and doing very little about it, but spending money on trying to change bike parts, you're just chasing a losing battle. You're overloading on the front, so you're going to cause compression, aren't you? Okay? If you were going about on your hands and knees all day, you would have compression on your hands. Lose the weight. I know you're trying. Get yourself inside my school program, nutrition programs. Oh, there's loads in there. Also, don't forget about the gloves. If the gloves are too tight, there is compression there. But I promise you, bar width problems are probably the most common that I see. And it comes about through basically the bike companies screwing you over because they're not taking into account body, what we call somatotypes, your body type, the skeleton shape that you have been given from birth, okay? And also, the bike's too big for you. Okay, so if it's too big, it's too long, and then you're chasing a losing battle because you've got no wiggle room, okay? You can get away with the bars being a little bit wider if the bike fits you, okay? Depending on stack height and such. Hey folks, I hope there was something there that you enjoyed. Hit that like button if you can. Send this message to your friends if any of them have got numb hands, okay? In Scotland, we often say, you know, most people have numb hands, or they've got deep pockets and they can't find their wallet, but it's not a phrase of how tight you are. It's a phrase about how uncomfortable your hands are getting on rides. And also remember that sometimes a long ride will bring some discomfort. You've just got to toughen up and get through it, but you shouldn't be getting, you know, deep numbness that you're losing control of your bike. And I'm not talking about cold conditions. There is other things that we can do for that as well. You want to join me in school? Link is in the description. Great community. You're going to get so much support and help from people who are just like you. And some of you might be ready for my university page where you can come and do live workouts with me. What fun. Okay, you take care. Remember, anyone can train hard. There's only a few of us can train with good hands and train smart. See you in the next video.